On what is a gorgeous Friday night, we welcome you on 9-Star on the ISC Sports Network as the New Pal Dragons in this wonderful facility play host to the Carmel Greyhounds. It's high school softball on 9-Star and ISC. Alongside Jim Leisure, my name is Greg Rakestraw. Thank you so much for joining us. And New Pal is, well, dealing with something that is rare for them. They have lost back-to-back games. Now, against really good competition. Any cause for Ed Markham to be worried this early in the season, Jim?
I would say no. I mean, again, a lot of softball to be played, and a lot of things can happen. Kids can break out of slumps. Kids who maybe haven't quite got their feet set will get those feet set and start playing New Palestine softball.
This is a Carmel team that comes in at 1-4, but if you look, offense is not the problem. Their pitching has not been great. They've allowed a few runs. We had this game a couple of years ago. It's a pretty entertaining game between these two teams, but again, despite the fact of the enrollment difference of about 4,000 students between these two schools, frankly, New Pal is the favorite in this one. They are ranked number 3 in the state. Now, again, that was before those back-to-back losses the last couple of days. Courtney Studi, the player you see on your screen, she is the lead pitcher this year for the Dragons. Her ERA just south of 3. Has walked 3, has struck out 14. She has thrown 22 innings so far this year. She's appeared in 4 of the 6 games the Dragons have played so far.
And Coach Ginger Britton for Carmel is, again, wanting to kind of right her own ship a little bit here and get playing Greyhound softball. Young ladies leading it off here, number 36, Hope McDonald's only batting .647. So perhaps she's got something to say about it.
Over players that are juniors and seniors between these two teams, we will rattle off 12 different college commitments. Of the ones that are seniors, those have largely been signed. For some of the juniors, we'll reference some New Pal. Those are verbals. McDonald is one of those. She is heading to South Carolina to play at Coastal Carolina next year. And as my partner referenced, 647. One thing that you will also notice as we rattle off stats for each of these two teams is that there's a lot of home runs that have been hit by these two teams so far this season. 14 in total in 6 games for New Pal. Studi's pitch does graze the outside corner. And it's a ball and a strike.
Well, no real wind right now. Well, as I say that, it picks up in center field, blowing kind of straight out, I guess. I was going to say, home runs shouldn't be hindered at all, but helped either. So
we did have a very stray pop-up shower here about an hour and 15 minutes ago, but as you can tell from the pictures, this is an all-turf facility, so a little rain's not going to hurt anybody, and we don't think we're going to be impacted by weather in any way, shape, form, or fashion during tonight's game. Change up on the 1-2. Good discipline by McDonald to lay off of it. And the count evens up now at 2-2.
But hats off to local weather media personalities, because all day long I kept hearing about chance of scattered rain, won't last long, and that's exactly what happened.
This is the 5th consecutive, frankly, wonderful day that we have had here in this month of April, which means there have been, frankly, a lot of games played this week. There have been a lot of 4- and 5-game weeks, maybe making up some lost games the first couple of weeks of the season.
Got to make hay when the sun is shining.
McDonald smacks this one. Shortstop's got it. That's Blum. Quickly over to first base and Hershey, and there's one down.
Nice job by Blum. Again, just reading the trajectory of the ball, knowing she's going to get a good clean hop on this turf. Set her feet, fielded it, flipped it over here. See the replay right there.
There's Grayson Erickson due up next for Carmel. Grayson batting .200 on the season with a run batted in. This Carmel team is 1-4, their lone victory against a team that's very familiar to New Pal. They beat Mount Vernon earlier this week. We'll be here when Mount Vernon visits New Pal for softball. Coming up next Thursday at 5:30. This one sprayed foul. We'll do it again at 1-1.
Now, Greg, I thought that Studi was a little bit careful with McDonald. Didn't really like to give her much of a pitch to hit until basically she had to late in the count. And we'll see if she attacks a little bit more of these Greyhound hitters as we go along.
This one inside out swing down the first base line. It's foul. Our 2-man umpire and crew for today's game, Earl Frazier and Dennis Stang, handling all of the action on the diamond today.
And I have to admit that if I was facing somebody that was batting .647, I'd be like, I'm not doing it. I'm just going to hold the ball. I'm not throwing it.
Legally, they would make you do that at some point in time. Change up. Strike 3. Frozer. A tantalizing offering that Erickson could not pull the bat on, and there's 2 down.
Yeah, I think it's one of those deals where she was just like going, I think that, and it's too late.
The shortstop, number 22, Sophie Esposito.
So Sophie Esposito, she will play at Indiana State next year. Sophie batting .312, 2 home runs, and 5 runs batted in. Liner into center field for a base hit. Engel, the center fielder, will be over to track that down, and it's a 2-out single.
Yeah, and she didn't even give me a chance to say it. I was going to say, this is a hitter that you want to be a little bit careful with because she can hit it hard and, has obviously hit it out. But kind of left the pitch over the middle part of the plate. And Esposito does what good hitters do.
Here comes another one, and Lily Sullivan batting .471. That time Studi elevated the fastball above the belt and got it to get past Sullivan. Sullivan's going to play in the MAC at Akron next year. Sullivan batting .471. 2 home runs and 8 runs batted in. This one sprayed foul. One thing that you notated before the broadcast is this is a Carmel team that has not moved runners over all that much. They've not stolen bases. They've got an experienced group, at least at the top of the lineup, that's kind of see ball, hit ball, and let your bats do most of the work.
Yeah, it's the old Earl Weaver theory. Just don't run yourself out of an inning. Now, I did notice.
Yeah, as I say that, here comes the stolen base attempt.
Yeah, Esposito was a little bit aggressive on her secondary lead the previous pitch, and she took off there. So, again, maybe coach is saying, hey, we're 1-4, right, and we're doing it a certain way. Well, why don't we try doing it a different way and see if we can't flip those numbers?
The 0-2. They have the runner potentially picked off, although they're throwing down to first base, and Hershey couldn't get out of her glove, and with that, the free base is taken by Esposito. So that will count as a stolen base, and there's a runner in scoring position.
Well, again, just kind of throw behind the run, which is not necessarily the bad idea there. It was just a matter of, I don't think she realized she actually reached down to tag. I thought she dropped the ball, but she actually reached down to tag the runner coming back, and the runner was already left.
Ground ball, third baseman charges, Fields, fires, gets her by a stride. That is Ernstus with the play, and no damage done from the single nor the stolen base. So through the top half of the first, Carmel scoreless and Newpout coming to bat. Let's now give you the Dragons lineup as you see the defensive handiwork from out in left center field. Jersey Gross, the left fielder, will be batting first for Coach Markham's squad. Allie Blum, the shortstop, will bat second. Aglaya Rudd, the catcher, bats third. Alyssa Mumma, the second baseman, bats fourth. Paige Ernstus, who made that defensive play at third, will bat fifth. Maddie Engel in center field bats sixth. Katie Hershey, the first baseman, will bat seventh. Kayla Bain is the DP, batting eighth. She is batting in the pitcher spot for Studi. And Sydney Oliver is the right fielder. She will bat ninth. The pitcher that she will be facing will be Lucy Broughton, who has done most of the throwing this year for Carmel. And they've had just 2 different players pitch so far this year in the 5 games they have played. Broughton has thrown all but 4 1/3 innings. Broughton in 5 appearances has thrown 29 2/3. She has given up 21 earned runs. She has struck out 20. She has walked 16. And opposing batters are hitting .275 against Broughton. Broughton is a senior, one of the 4 seniors on this Carmel roster. And thanks to the due diligence of John Painter, our producer, her grandfather is the late and legendary John Broughton, who was the football coach and director of athletics at Pendleton Heights, and where the field is named in his honor. Place that we visit a great deal here on 9 Star.
As well it should be. I always liked John. We would get together for the region meetings. He was just a great football coach, would help you out. If you had a question, he would be more than happy to answer it. The year after he retired, he was the grand marshal of the Pendleton Homecoming Parade. Never did it in all my years of coaching, but I actually put my assistant O-line coach in charge, and I went over there and just had to shake John's hand and tell him what I thought about him. And just let the other coach warm him up because, honestly, John meant that much to a lot of coaches in Central Indiana.
So here's Jersey Gross. Jersey getting the start today. She has been used as a courtesy runner a good deal this year because she has scored 7 runs. She is 2 for 7 on the season. Just a sophomore. Carmel expects the ball to go down because all infielders inside the base paths. That one just a little high. 1-0 the count.
And you can tell by the way that Gross is kind of setting up. It's that slap style Probably not going to drive it, going to hit it into the turf, try to bounce it over somebody's head.
In for a strike. And got the running start that time, did Gross, but watch that one go by knee high. Count it 1-1. Contact made. Second baseman charges, flying down the line, but out recorded. Great job by Kleiner, the freshman at second base, firing over to McDonald, and there's one away.
Well, again, Kleiner knows she has no, you don't have any time here, so you're just going to catch it and just literally put it behind your ear and flip it over there. Nice job.
We have you on as an expert in all sports, so I'm going to ask you a physics question. That's the natural progression. Think the ball gets faster to the second baseman on this turf infield, or would it get faster there on dirt?
I'm going to say turf, but you're probably asking the question. This is in trivia. When you think –
No, honestly, I honestly don't know.
I'm going to say turf. I'm going to say the ball moves faster off the turf.
I don't have empirical data to share with you.
Okay. Well, I thought maybe you did. Normally, if it sounds too good to be true, it's false. So, but I think the turf is going to move fast. It's going to move truer, that's for sure.
In other words, if that is on a normal dirt infield, I'm not sure they make that play at first base.
Correct.
In other words, the ball scooted through quicker that allowed the second baseman to make the play.
I would agree with that.
So here's Blum, 3 home runs, 7 runs batted in. Ball hopped to home plate. Blum, one of the many juniors that has made a verbal commitment to play her college softball, and she will do so in the SEC at the University of Kentucky. That is always subject to change these days as the recruiting world changes.
Relatively young group for Coach Ed Markham.
Ground ball, foul ball. By the way, Ed Markham's Twitter feed is a who's who of area college softball.
Oh, yeah.
Because if he's not coaching the Dragons on a given day, he is visiting one of his players. So he was at Baumgardner Field 2 days ago at UIndy.
Yeah, he gets around a lot. At first I thought maybe he was running from the law. One of those America's Most Wanted things. They air the episode, bag your stuff,
One hopper, second baseman's got it. Relatively easy play for Kleiner, and there's 2 down.
And it wasn't until he started posting the pictures with the actual athletes that I realized that, he's just going to games.
He visited Ashley Prang at Alabama over the course of the weekend. And when you produce multiple college players every year, you can do that, as they have done. Here's Aglaya Rudd. Rudd, the senior catcher. She's going to play at Purdue Fort Wayne next year. Turns on this one. Left fielder backs up, watches it fly. Home run, Aglaya Rudd. She will now be batting north of 667. Her second home run of the season, and it's 1-0 New Pal.
Well, I think Broughton just kind of left that pitch out over the plate a little bit more than she wanted to, and good hitters will hit mistakes. And I don't think that pitch was exactly where they wanted it. And Rudd just says, you know what, I am going to square this thing up. And you see the left fielder Ella Weir go back on it, but really no shot.
Of the 9 in the starting lineup for Coach Markham, 7 have homered this year. That is the 15th home run for the Dragons in their 7th game of the season. By the way, 200 feet symmetrically all the way around this great facility. We look forward to every time we are here. We'll be here each of the next 2 weeks for midweek matchups. That does graze the outside corner to Alyssa Mumont. She is going to play at University of Southern Indiana next year. They are in their first Division I season this year. Now members of the Ohio Valley Conference. Just a little high, 2-1 the count.
Broughton with a nice kind of, I guess in baseball it's called like a screwball where, it starts out and breaks back, opposite the pitch hand here. Just a matter of locating it.
Ground ball, third baseman's got it, fires over to first, and the inning is over. But the solo blast by Aglaya Rudd has given New Pal an early 1-0 lead. We're through one here at the home of the Dragons. We're back in a moment on 9 Star and the ISC Sports Network.
We are really heavily involved in the community, so there are multiple different volunteer opportunities that we can go and do.
Volunteer time to share their time and talents with organizations that need not only monetary assistance, but just people's time to help those organizations grow and thrive.
Nine Star is a different kind of company, and the difference is you.
Greg Rakestraw, Jim Leisure with you here on 9 Star, the ISC Sports Network. Our second get-together of this week. If you count Saturday's games in the Horseshoe Classic, this is Game 5 of our week. Thanks to John Payne and our tremendous 9 Star crew, bringing you as much softball and baseball here based in Hancock County and Madison County as we can. Again, this has been a dream week for athletic directors across the state because rain has not been a factor. Ginger Britton, the 6th-year head coach of the Carmel Greyhounds. Alex Longstreth will be the player due up here for Carmel. Alex, the starting center fielder, batting $188 with 4 runs scored on the season. Off speed misses, 1-0 the count. By the way, we're going to see Carmel again on Wednesday when they go visit Pendleton Heights. So we'll get to know this team quite well over the next couple of weeks.
Of course, that Pendleton Heights team lost a ton of really talented seniors last year. They were sectional champions. And there was some question going into the Horseshoe Classic of what kind of team do they have. And obviously they must have a good one because they ended up winning that thing, beating a really good Center Grove team.
Line drive, shortstop's got it, and he easily makes the play. Really well done by Blum. I think a lot of players might have given up on that one to get through in center field. It did not, and there's one away. So Mia Fleming now comes to the plate. She is the starting catcher. She is a sophomore. Batting $176 with a run batted in. This Carmel team played on the first available day of the season as Fleming hits a couple of hopper, and that's a more routine play for Blum, and there's 2 down. And Studi certainly is not just pitching to contact, but pitching to ground ball contact. That is the 4th ground ball out so far for the Greyhounds.
Well, again, after McDonald kind of got out of the way there, she's just kind of going right at these Carmel hitters, and really nice job by Blum just working through the ball, and all that momentum's carrying you toward first base. An easy little flip.
Studi finds the outside corner and at the knees to Ella Weir. Weir batting $143 with a run batted in this season. She is the starting left fielder. Good eye on that one, 1-1 the count. As you would expect in this Friday night, tremendous crowd on hand. Love the setup of this facility. Bleachers down the right and left field lines, bleachers behind home plate, and the berm out in left center. Slapper, third baseman, couldn't get it. Knew she had to field it perfectly. So I'd put that as an E5 even on the speed by Weir, because I think if the third baseman and Ernstis makes that play cleanly, she's got her at first base. And when she didn't, put a runner on first base with 2 outs.
Well, one of those things where she just kind of got that weird hop, that middle hop. Would have liked to charge it and either gotten the bigger hop while it was still in the air or maybe stay back. But if you stay back, the runner beats you. So, I mean, you got to take the shot that she took.
Isabella Davis is at the plate. She is listed on both the JV and the varsity rosters for Carmel. She is 1 for 4. That's where that 250 average comes from. So, getting some extended reps here with the varsity as a sophomore. In for a strike. So back-to-back innings where the Greyhounds get a player on with 2 outs.
And, you know, when a team is struggling a little bit like Carmel is 1 and 4, a lot of times you just can't find ways to get those people around. Now, it doesn't help, of course, that it happens with 2 outs. A little tougher to do with 2 outs than it would be if you got the leadoff hitter on. But that's just the way this game works. I mean, you got to get timely hitting.
Inside corner. 2-2 the count. So we've seen Studi locate both corners and, frankly, to both right-handers and left-handers so far in this game.
Yeah, I'm thinking change up here. I mean, that's what I'd throw.
Fastball, ground ball, shortstop got it, throws the long way across. Hershey on top of the bag makes the play, and the inning is over, and all 3 outs. This inning recorded 6-3. So one error, but no damage from it. And we are now through an inning and a half, and you'll see the defensive handiwork here. 1-0 Dragons with Ernstus, Engel, and Hershey coming up to bat. Now, Jim, how often do you find yourself in Carmel?
Occasionally.
How often do you find yourself in need of a haircut?
About every 6 weeks.
Okay, if those 2 points intersect, then may I recommend to you Main Street Barbershop in Carmel. There's the information for you right there. And again, the logo says West Main Street. Well, they've moved. And in fact, Main Street Barbershop is now on 116th Street over near Merchants Plaza. Main Street Barbershop is so popular, they are considering renaming 116th Street as Main Street in Carmel.
Wow.
Jim, as you well know, you never let facts get in the way of a good story.
Not at
It
all.
is a classic barbershop for the modern family, and when you go there, make sure you stop by and ask for Matt. Thank you, Main Street Barbershop, for picking up sponsorship of today's contest.
Well, it is, again, a wonderful city up there, and so many entertainment options that they have up there, in the wintertime. But the help me with the Performing Arts Center.
The Palladium.
Thank you. Just a neat place, and Mayor Brainerd has done a fantastic job. I understand he is not running for re-election, but he has certainly left a nice legacy.
Got to go look at Ed Markham down the third baseline. His 20th year as the head coach of the Dragons. Here's Ernstus. Turns that one down the line. Of those 20 seasons that Ed has been in charge of this program, 6 of them have resulted in state championships. Last 3 coming in 17, 18, and 19. We didn't have a 2020 season. And the state champ has come from this sectional the last couple of years in Roncalli. Liner into center field for a base hit. That one could get to the wall. Ernstus will be heading for second. Right fielder cuts it off, but no play. It's a leadoff double for Paige Ernstus.
Well, Grayson Erickson in right field does a nice job of getting to the ball and setting her feet. Unfortunately, Ernstus, again, is just a little bit faster than the throw.
So Maddie Engel will be stepping to the plate next. Engel, a sophomore, batting .300 with 2 home runs and 7 runs batted in. Just a little outside. Count it 1-0. And Roncalli will be here on May 3rd. Our cameras will be here then too. Hope you can join us. If you can't be here in person, we've got it for you on the 9-Star YouTube channel and replays that follow in the days after on the IHSAA Sports Network.
Broughton does a nice job there of just kind of running that pitch in on her hands. And, again, like you said, moving both sides of the play because the first pitch was outside, just missed, came back inside, and basically just sawed the bat off.
Outfield playing Engel to pull here. She does, but on the ground. Third baseman does her job. Looks the runner back, timed it perfectly. A throwback, she dives back in time. That was well done by Sullivan at third. Knew exactly that clock in her head that she had to get the throw to first base, and runner at first is out. Yeah, it's no doubt about that. So Engel heads back, and there's one down.
It was a little bit of a close play there at second base too. And again, you've heard me talk about this a lot. Maddie Engel on her way back to the dugout stops and talks to Katie Hershey and tells, "Hey, this is what she did to me. These are the pitches I saw. Look for that."
Here's Hershey. Hershey batting a .182 on the year, but when she has made contact, it has gone far. She's got 3 home runs. There's 5 runs batted in as well. Hershey, another sophomore. And 4 seniors, 3 in today's lineup. Coach Markham and staff. And that misses. 2-0 the count.
Good pitch to hit here. Looking for your favorite pitch. Drive it. If you don't get it, take it. Could be 3-0, could be 2-1, but either way, don't swing at the pitcher's pitch on 2-0. You want to get your favorite pitch.
Hershey does that. Good job by Sullivan. Playing it off a hop, and again, no advance by Ernstus, and there's 2 away.
Really good infield play already, Greg, by both ball clubs. I mean, you're seeing some young ladies that are picking the ball and making nice throws.
So Kayla Bain is the DP today. She is 2 for 8 and has a run batted in. She and her teammate and classmate Sydney Eubanks are heading to play down in the western hills of Cincinnati. They're going to play at Mount St. Joseph, Heartland Collegiate Athletic Conference in Division III. Kayla 2 for 8 this year with a run batted in. Ground ball, foul ball. And this is the number 8 hitter in the lineup. When I look towards the outfielders for Carmel, center fielder is playing very much the shortstop side of the bag, and the left fielder is to some degree hugging the line and is a step in front of the warning track. Another foul ball, and count now goes to 0-2.
And Bain has gone that way both times, and there could be some advanced scouting going on, but it also could be a lot of these ladies play travel ball. They know each other. They know what their skill set is and what they tend to do with the ball. So either way, they've got her played about where she's hitting it.
On the riser that time, Bain again spoils it. We'll see another pitch. We notated that as far as Studi is concerned, she's been throwing ground ball out. You would say the exact same thing about Broughton. Couple of ground balls to second, 3 ground balls to third so far. Difference for New Pal is a homer and a double. This one, cue shot, foul ball. Thought for a moment the catcher might just let it bounce and see what would happen, because it was not far away.
Yeah, I think honestly, if she had it to do over again, she probably would. What do you got to lose? I mean, if it stays foul, it's foul, and if it rolls fair, you just pick it up and tag the batter runner who had not ran.
Ground ball. Third baseman's got it. Tosses over to the first baseman, and that inning belonged to Lily Sullivan defensively. So the leadoff double goes nowhere for the Dragons, and we are quickly through 2. 1-0 New Pal as you're watching on 9 Star and the ISC Sports Network.
9 Star is very focused on customer and member care, focused on making sure that however we communicate with the member and customer is how they want to communicate.
Sometimes we're the one person that they speak to in a day, and you want that conversation to be happy and pleasant.
As a nonprofit co-op, we're focused on providing the best service we can for our members.
9 Star is a different kind of company, and the difference is you.
Top of the third we go. 9-1-2 to up this time for Carmel. Fly to the second baseman, then back to McDonald and Erickson at the top of the lineup. Greg Rakestraw, Jim Leisure with you here on 9 Star and the ISC Sports Network. Again, Aglaya Rudd is the person responsible for all the offense so far for the Dragons. Her solo blast in the bottom half of the first. 15th home run for New Pal on the season. This New Pal team will begin Hoosier Heritage Conference play on Tuesday when they play Yorktown. We'll be here on Thursday when they play their next conference game against Mount Vernon. Jim and I have a pair of softball games in back-to-back days, weather permitting, on Wednesday and Thursday. We'll have Pendleton Heights playing these Carmel Greyhounds. We'll have New Pal playing Mount Vernon. And all that comes your way as Mother Nature allows us to do it on Wednesday and Thursday next week.
Well, and again, just hearing those teams, if you know anything about Indiana Central, Indiana softball, pretty good squads.
Shortstop can't get back there in time, base hit. Just a perfectly placed pop-up by Kleiner. It's the first time that the leadoff runner has been aboard. Second hit of the game for the Greyhounds. And again, Kleiner does her job to get on in front of McDonald, who came in hitting .647. Ground ball to the shortstop last time up.
And remember, Studi really stayed away from her, but got just enough of the corner there to get the call.
Yeah, clearly in McDonald it is, hey, let's get our best hitter up as many times as possible.
Oh, absolutely.
Have her lead off, and is guaranteed to get the most amount of a bat you possibly can. Put the bunt down. They'll throw behind the runner. She dives back in plenty of time. McDonald 2 home runs and 7 runs batted in this year. Count is 0-2. Swing and a miss. McDonald retired as the off-speed pitch tails away, and there's one down.
Again, there's no doubt, no question. Hope McDonald is a very, very good hitter, but credit Studi here because she really makes her swing at just really a bad pitch and didn't get a good swing on it. So in that personal battle between pitcher and hitter.
Line drive through to center field for a base hit. Great job by the center fielder. and Engel to cut that off immediately. Runners at first and second now.
Carmel had a nice play in the field where they kept a ball from getting to the wall, and a nice play by New Pal there as well.
Here's Esposito. Esposito had a base hit last time up. Steal a base as well. Looks to put a bunt down. Good job on the delayed steal. Once that ball got away from the catcher, the good secondary lead by Kleiner. She hustles into the bag at third. Throw down not in time, and runners on the corners now.
It almost looked there a little bit like, the New Pal infield was like going, did she foul that? Did she not? And again, that allowed the base runner to get in.
Now is the runner at first active because of the open bag at second. And in the outside corner that time was Studi. The count now 0-2.
Well, they say that there's no greater predictor of future performance than past performance, and normally Carmel does not steal. So
almost a pitch out that time, knowing that there was a pitch to work with there. So 1-2. Change up, and for the second time, they'll try to throw down and get the tag and get the double play, and they absolutely do. So the run does not count that crossed home plate. The strike him out, throw him out, double play. Erickson retired at second. Esposito, a strikeout victim, and the inning is over and no runs score.
There's a lot of different ways you can defend that first and third play, Greg, and obviously New Palestine said, listen, we're going to throw through, we're going to get the tag, we're going to get the out. Nice job. Good execution.
Obviously, if you don't get that out, the run scores, but New Pal was able to kind of live with the consequence, have to worry about it, and so runners at the corners do not lead to anything for Carmel. They have now stranded 3 runners the first 3 innings, and New Pal stake to a 1-0 lead here in the home half of the third. So Oliver, Gross, and Blum, the trio due up here for the Dragons, as they will send 9, 1, and 2 to the plate this time through. Oliver batting 2 for 10 on this young season with a home run and 2 runs batted in. Oliver, a junior. She is able to play for Missy Frost and the University of Indianapolis. If I remember the alma mater's rankings properly, I think they're rated 6th this week in Division II softball.
Really good softball being played in Central Indiana, too. I mean, there's some NAIA schools that are off to great starts.
Oliver lifts this one left field. Left fielder had her played perfectly. Barely had to move. That is Weir, and there's one down. Yeah, Marion entered today 28-2, and they were just outside the top 10. The NAIA rankings come out like every other week or so.
And they were on just like a 25 or 26 game winning streak. I don't know, so I'm assuming that's no longer active.
Correct. They
Okay.
they lost the front half of a doubleheader to Spring Arbor on Wednesday, I believe, which ended their winning streak at 27. And came back and won the back half. You're asking the right guy when it comes to Marion softball. I
Absolutely.
tend to follow these things for the day job.
Yeah.
As Gross watches that one go by for a strike. Gross, a slapper to second, her first time up. Showing that great speed in the leadoff spot today. Just a bit high. 1-1 the count. Good looking crowd on the berm today. There are a few atmospheres in high school softball that can top this one.
Well, ever since it was built, it's obviously been the host of several sectionals and regionals.
That one gets through for a base hit. So a hit in every inning so far for New Pal. Here's Allie Blum.
Left shortstop, number 6, Allie Blum.
So Blum also a ground ball to second base, her previous time up. A fly ball by Soliver. That was the first put out of the game made by an outfielder. Things been pretty much in the infield except for the extra base hits. Blum shows bunt. Runner takes off. Throw through. Not in time. Ball gets away from the second baseman, but no advance. And Jersey Gross has the stolen base.
Center fielder Alex Longstreth does a nice job of backing that play up. When the ball is in play, there should be 9 people moving somewhere.
I'm pretty sure that bunt attempt by Blum was just to provide a little cover for the runner. She'll be swinging away when given the opportunity here. She asked for time because Coach Markham asked for time and wanted the count. And it's 0-1. Low and inside. Count levels at a ball and a strike. Blum does have 3 home runs this season. Rudd, who added her home run total, is on deck. Turned on this one. Make that 4 home runs. Second big fly of the day for the Dragons, number 16 on the season. Blum now has 4 in 7 games this year, and it's 3-0 New Pal.
Well, again, just a really nice job of just, keeping the hands back and working the lower body. And, they always say the swing actually starts below the waist by getting those hips going. And she just absolutely drilled that thing. And right now it's early, I understand. But, New Pal, they get kids on and they have a tendency to get them in. Carmel has gotten a lot of guys and gals on base, but have not been able to get that timely hit.
So here's Aglaya Rudd. The RBI for Blum, numbers 8 and 9 of the season. Rudd now 2 home runs and 10 runs batted in. Rudd turns on this one. That's back-to-back. That is batting practice right now for New Pal. And folks, let me tell you, that is not wind-aided in any way. Rudd tattoos one for her second home run of the game. Make it 4-0 Dragons.
Well, this pitch was actually up in the upper half of the zone, and she just does a great job. That's hard to do. To catch up to that high pitch and drive it like that. Now, if you do make contact, it will go. But it's kind of tough to catch up to that pitch. It's at the top of the zone. Might even have been slightly high. But it's almost as if she was looking for that pitch and just did what good hitters do.
So make it a 3rd home run of the season for Rudd and 11 runs batted in for the soon-to-be mastodon at Purdue Fort Wayne. Now Alyssa Mumma tries to keep the hit parade going for New Pal. It's in for a strike. 0-1 the count. Just a bit inside that time. Count it 1-1. Ground ball. Shortstop knocks it down. I don't think there's any way you're making the play at first from that spot. That's an infield single. And make it 4 consecutive base hits now for New Pal.
Well, you hear about it all the time, Greg. Second time through the lineup, and again, I've been watching the New Pal hitters. They do a great job. I love to see the unselfishness of just, sometimes when you make an out, obviously you're not happy, but you can sit and sulk, or you can go over and tell the other girls, hey, this is what she threw me, and this is the mistake I made. Go up there and fix this for me.
Up the middle, base hit. Well, clearly the New Pal batters have kind of brought and scouted a little bit more after the second time through, have her timed out, because it's not exactly have been much in the way of kind of pop-ups these past 5 hits. They've all been solid.
Yeah, that ball was scathed as well. And again, you might see Coach Britton come out and maybe try to talk to Lucy Broughton and just maybe calm her down a little bit. Got to locate the pitches a little bit better. You can't just go down the middle. These good hitters, they're going to make you pay.
Maddie Engel. Ground ball to third base her last time up. Inside corner strike.
That's the location I'm talking about. That's a tough pitch to hit hard, so you got to just basically find that command, find that location, and stay there.
Turned on that one on the inside corner and fouled it off. And the count now 0-2.
You're going to see the ball just go right off of her shin a little bit. The umpire's going to give her a second to kind of shake it off a little bit.
And those are the rubber pellets he's brushing off the plate to do that, not the dirt.
Yeah, oftentimes, again, other than those like you said, those little rubber pellets, there's nothing really to brush off. But you do it when the catcher gets hit. And
I remember my first game that I witnessed in an all-turf facility was at Hoffman Field at IU when they first went to turf about a decade ago. And two things I noticed. A, when it was playing when they were raining, guys were hydroplaning past the bag in terms of sliding past a bag. But the grounds crew was two guys with brooms
right
at the end of the game. That was the grounds crew.
No drag, no tractor.
Popped her up, and that'll be back in our direction. And stay alive swing that time by Engel. And Broughton, to her credit, just continues to battle, and she's been around the plate the entire time after back-to-back home runs allowed.
And still a whole bunch of softball to be played here, so if she can get out of this and hold the damage here.
Good job to pull that string on the changeup. That is the first strikeout authored by Broughton, and now 15 batters faced, and there's 2 away.
You're going to see, again, great job of just, if you ever played with a yo-yo as a kid, you throw it out there, and then at the last second, you bring it back, and that's kind of what she does there with that pitch.
Now, did you get that from watching the Smothers Brothers as a kid?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Now, I had a little Duncan yo-yo as well.
Popped up. Catcher's got it, and the inning is over. The damage certainly done. 5 consecutive batters reach. Blum and Rudd go big fly, and now we are through 3, and the cushion is 4 for New Pal. Top of the 4th comes your way next on 9 Star and the ISC Sports Network.
And I'd like to talk to you about all those kinds of convenience products. People are flushing down the toilet, clogging up our sewer system, and causing expensive repair bills. They might flush down, but they sure don't flush out. Make sure you trash them. Don't flush them, only flush the 3 P's. Pee, poo, and paper. Toilet paper, that is. And remember, no wipes in those pipes.
This important message was brought to you by 9 Star Connect, your water and sewer provider.
A little more clouds than sun right now, but it's still pretty bright and shiny on the New Pal side. 4 runs, 4 extra base hits, 7 hits in total, and 3 home runs. One of a 2-run variety, and 2 of a solo variety. Both those from Aglaya Rudd. And it's now 4-0 with Lily Sullivan leading things off for Carmel as the Hounds go 4, 5, and 6 here in the top of the 4th inning.
So when your offensive mates go out and basically get you 3 runs and just really hit the ball hard, if you're Courtney Studi, you want to come out here and you'd like to go 1, 2, 3, but again, this is the second time through for the Greyhound hitters as well.
Off-speed pitch misses. In losses the last 2 days for New Pal, they have been in the high-scoring variety. Lost to Franklin Central 7-6, lost to Hamilton Southeastern 11-7. And these are, much like New Pal, 2 perennial powers in terms of area softball. This one misses high, 2-0 the count.
I got to ask, is Kathy Stricker still the coach at Franklin Central, or she finally stepped down?
Still going?
Oh, she's still going? Okay, good deal.
Studi gets behind here really for the first time today at 3-0.
I like how she just basically takes a second, goes back, uses the rosin back there and just try to refocus and come all the way back.
Ball 4. So first walk issued by either pitcher today. And for a second consecutive inning, Carmel has the leadoff runner aboard.
And if you're Coach Britton, you're going, come on, ladies. I mean, again, second consecutive inning, we get the leadoff hitter on. Let's get somebody on, let's get somebody over, and let's get somebody in.
Alex Longstreth, ground ball to shortstop her last time up. First pitch swinging, lifts this one left field. Left fielder has it lined up. That's Jersey Gross, and there's one away.
Gross does a really nice job. Even though the runner probably was not going to try to advance, go ahead and get behind the ball 3 or 4 feet so that you can catch it with your momentum. Like you said, she was lined up perfectly to second base, and obviously no chance at all. You're going to see her. Watch how she gets behind the ball, a couple 2 or 3 steps, and then kind of comes forward with her momentum.
So here's Mia Fleming. Fleming, a ground ball to shortstop last time up as well. Off speed, bends in for a strike. And the count to 0-1. Studier Jr. in the circle. This is the 26th inning she has pitched on this young season so far. Off the end of the bat, second baseman. Look at the lead runner at second. They throw on to first, and they turn it. 4-6-3 double play, and the inning is over. And that is the second inning in a row where a double play ends the inning for New Pal.
This is really nicely done. Again, the ball's hit to Mumal's left, so a lot of times kids will just go one, forget the runner. Man, she pivots quick. She fires to second, and then the turnover there at shortstop, really nicely done.
You know what else is as sharp as that double play, Jim?
What's that?
Your hair when you stop by the folks at Main Street Barbershop in Carmel. Now, again, don't go to Main Street. They're not there. Main Street in Carmel is wonderful. If you're looking for Main Street Barbershop, you got to go to Merchants Plaza, 116th Street, right off of Keystone Parkway. Now, when I went there today, because I wanted to make sure I look good for my camera shots today, I keep waiting for that camera shot to happen.
Right, exactly.
At some point in time. But when I went there today, they had 7 chairs going at one time. Stop by and wait for my buddy Matt. When you go there, again, you see the phone number on your screen. Main Street Barbershop, no longer on Main Street, a old-fashioned barbershop for the modern family.
Well, and a modern man such as myself wouldn't even go to Main Street. I mean, if the name of the place is Main Street Barber, I would immediately think it's probably on 116th Street.
Well, thankfully, given your 30-year police officer background,
yes,
you could do the legal detective work to determine that it wasn't on Main Street anymore. So, New Pal will bring batters 8, 9, and 1 to the plate in Bain, Oliver, and Jersey Gross. In other words, looking to the top of their lineup for a 3rd time in this game, at minimum here in the home half of the 4th inning.
Now, because of the double play, we didn't get a chance to really talk about it, but I did notice that Coach Britton, is going to change her luck. She actually coached first base that inning and had her assistant take third. It's like, okay, we're gonna change something, ladies. Well, whatever we're doing isn't working, so let's change it up, see if we can't get a run. And unfortunately for them, they were unable to.
So Kayla Bain, a ground ball to third base in her previous plate appearance. She is the DP for Coach Markham today. Back up the middle. Broughton snares it after a couple of hops, and there's one down.
Broughton made that look a little bit easier than it really was. That ball had some really nasty spin on it, but she does a real good job. You're going to see her just kind of backhanding this thing, and then after that it was just an easy throw.
So here's Oliver. Fly ball to left field, her first time up. Now 2 for 11 on the season. Tails inside, 1-0 the count.
When Broughton is good, the ball has a lot of movement, whether it's in toward the hitter or away. And then obviously there's times, though, that the ball just kind of flat and comes in over the plate, and somebody normally squares it up.
This Carmel team will be off this weekend. And then if the schedule holds, they will play 6 times next week. Play former conference foes, Ben Davis and North Central, in back-to-back days on Monday and Tuesday. And the game we've talked about at Pendleton Heights on Wednesday. They've got a tournament coming up then the following this weekend. Tecumseh, traditional 1A and 2A power for Southern Indiana, is going to come up. Lake Central will make their way to Central Indiana for a second time in 3 weeks. And then Ron Colley, also a part of that field. Ground ball, foul ball. You and I make note of the fact that Lake Central seemingly is going to play as many teams from Central Indiana as they are from Northern Indiana, and given their pedigree of multiple state titles and making the championship game recently, love to see that from their side.
And they got off to a really good start in that Pendleton Horseshoe Classic, winning the first game and really getting up on Pendleton. I think it was 5-0. I was already after 3, and I'm kind of thinking maybe run rule.
Ball sails high, 3-2 the count to Oliver.
And then Pendleton just went nuts.
Had 5 home runs and scored 14 times. Pendleton came back and beat Center Grove, a team that had beaten them 8 days earlier. Full count of 3-2. Ground ball. Second baseman dives. Got her just in time. Close play. 2 down. Good recovery by both the second baseman and first baseman to make this one happen.
Well, you're going to see another gold star play again. The infield play in this ballgame has just been unbelievably good. So all she's got time to do is kind of backhand flip it. Close enough.
Yep. Here's Jersey Gross. Found the 56 hole last time up. And would come around to score on the Allie Blum 2-run blast. Player that made that play for Carmel Kleiner is a freshman second baseman. Got the outside corner. Counted 0-2.
Now, great location, good pitches by Broughton, but also credit Mia Fleming, the sophomore catcher, for kind of framing those up.
A little hot. So 1-2 the count. Neither team has been retired in order so far today. Now again, only 3 were faced last inning because of the double play. High and in tight, 2-2 the count. And again, if Gross can reach, you've got players that have homered coming up in the next 2 spots.
She's worked a pretty good at bat here.
Late decision to swing, couldn't time that one out. The inning is over, and Broughton faces the minimum in the home half of the 4th. Through 4, it is New Pal 4 and Carmel nothing. Greyhounds come to bat when we come back on 9 Star and the ISC Sports Network.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 160,000 participants here in Indiana who take part in high school sports.
Greg Rakestraw, Jim Leisure back here with you on 9 Star, the ISC Sports Network. For Carmel, 7, 8, 9, Weir, Davis, and Kleiner. The trio due up for Coach Britton's squad. In our next 9 Star telecast will be on Wednesday from Legends Field at Pendleton Heights. I'm not sure the dance crew will come back with us for that one. We can try. We'll see them on Thursday when we're back here. But we'll have Carmel and Pendleton Heights for you on Wednesday night. Be sure to join us then, live on the 9 Star YouTube channel, and replays to follow on the ISC Sports Network.
So as I noted earlier, Coach Britton is going to go back to third base for this particular inning. Now, the only other one, she could go stand behind second base. I've not seen that.
I don't think that's legal.
Yeah, but that would be the only other place. She's going to flip it back up and go back the other way.
So we're reaching an error on a slapper to the third baseman last time up. And she was lining up to do that as well. That ball missed low. And the count is 1-0. Outfielders playing shallow here as well. Count at 2-0. And the New Pal logo behind the second base is on display because there's not a fielder anywhere close to it. Slapper defensive alignment. 3-0. And Studi is in danger of walking the leadoff batter again, as she did last inning.
And, of course, it worked out for her, but she certainly does not want to get in the habit of walking leadoff hitters.
Take it all the way was Weir. That's in for a strike. Carmel has had 5 runners reach They have left 3 on through 4 innings of play. Got it. The outside corner for a strike.
Nice job by Studi, battling all the way back. Don't give up on the at-bat.
Contact made in fair territory. Third baseman gets her. And there's one away. Good job by Studi to battle back from the 3-0 predicament. Here's Davis.
The designated player, number 8, Bella Davis.
So Davis, a ground ball to shortstopper last time up. We referenced how busy Carmel is slated to be next week from a scheduling standpoint. New Pal has 4 games on the docket next week. They'll be at Westfield Monday. Again, those home conference games against Yorktown and Mount Vernon Tuesday and Thursday. They will travel to Zionsville next Friday. Swing and a miss. The ball had just enough late movement on it.
Right. Really, Westfield is one of the teams that has beaten Carmel so far this year, so some common opponents there.
A little high, 2-1. In this sport, to lesser degree baseball, pretty much all the schools from this league play all the schools from that league, the Hoosier Crossroads Conference.
And many of the Hoosier Heritage Conference teams, especially the ones closer to Marion County, match up well.
Yep.
I mean, in terms of everything, demographics, talent. Numbers are a little bigger in the HCC, but...
Well, I would say this, Jim. I think in both baseball and softball, I think these have become the 2 best leagues in the state in those 2 sports.
I would agree.
2-2. Obviously, you factor in the MIC a little bit more when it comes to football and basketball, and kind of throw the Duneland up there as well in the northwest part of the state. Change up just below the knees. Good discipline by Davis to let that one go by. The count goes full at 3-2.
Good idea, good location, just missed. And like you said, Davis does a really nice job of recognizing the pitch early and saying, you know what, I'm going to stand here and take another one.
And missed that one, ball 4. So Studi had just 3 walks in her first 25 innings of the season. She has now walked 2 of the last 5 batters she has faced.
Second baseman, number 2, Jane Flatter.
Once again, Carmel has had a base runner on in every inning, but yet to put a run on the board. Here's Kleiner. Rips this one. Shortstop's got it. You have a play at first base. Yes, you do. And make that a 3rd consecutive inning with a double play turn by the Dragons.
Well, a really good job here again by the shortstop in Blum, who immediately just sets her feet and throws. And unfortunately, again, your coach base runners freeze on a line drive. F-O-L-D, fold, freeze on a line drive. And Bella Davis just did not do that.
So for New Pal, again, the heart of their lineup in Blum, Rudd, and Mumma that all reached last time up. We've referenced that Pelham Heights Carmel game we'll have for you coming up next Wednesday. Jim and I head to Legends Field at that time. You even get Coach Markham to dance between innings. That's when you know things are going well.
Yeah, no kidding.
When a little Cotton Eye Joe breaks out and the whole team gets down with it, coach included.
Yeah, and I don't know this for sure, but, you know, last inning we saw some fans dancing, and apparently the young ladies in the dugout said, no, this is how you do it.
You ever felt compelled to get into a dance with one of the teams that you were coaching in your football and baseball days?
No. There were plenty of times I probably wanted to pull my hair out, but no. I've never honestly felt the need to move it that way for any reason at all. I'm not a dancer. If I was a dancer, I'd be a triple threat.
So you don't dance basically in deference to the advantage it would create to like all of the other males in the species is what you're saying.
Actually, I don't dance because out of respect for the other people in the dance hall.
Okay.
They shouldn't have to watch that.
Fair enough. Blum watches that one go by, and the count goes to 1-0. Again, the home run last time up for her 4th of the season. She takes a devastating practice swing in between pitches that go by at the plate. Broaden moved that one off the plate, and the count goes to 2-0.
And when you're seeing it as well as she's seeing it, and why not?
That just did catch the inside corner. Bell tie for a strike.
But a pitcher's pitch.
2-1.
Pitcher's pitch, don't swing it. You know, I mean, it was right there at your hands, and, you know, I guess close enough to be called a strike, but if you swing at that, you're probably just going to pop it up. Wait till she makes a mistake and leaves the ball over the plate. Extend those hands.
Rips this one, but what a play. Shortstop Esposito caught that one on the way by. One down.
Yep, we always call that catching the back half of the ball.
I'm almost surprised that didn't kind of move the shortstop almost more back towards left field. You get a great view of it here. Well done. One down.
I think there has been some absolute stellar infield play in this ballgame. Outfielders have not had a lot to do. There's been a couple fly ball outs, and there's been a couple times when the outfielders have just turned around and watched one go. But
and they're going to give Rudd the intentional bases on balls. After back-to-back home runs, they're going to say, you know what, somebody else, you go to first base.
And again, probably not popular with the New Pal fan base here, but makes a lot of sense. This kid has hit 2 balls for about 500 feet between them, so she's not going to hit another one.
And they will now let Rudd get the gear back on. So Hurst will go pinch run for New Pal.
Addison Hurst listed on the JV roster.
Mumau single last time up.
Angry Dragons, the second baseman, number 10, Alyssa Mumau.
Mumau batting .429 entering today's game. In for a strike. Yeah, for Rudd to score a run, she normally has to hit a home run because they will sub her out to let her focus on her catching gear. Tying in tight 1-1.
Well, again, Coach Britton is saying, you know, ladies, we're only down 4. We're still very much in this thing. And, you know, if she hits one out, even though it's just 5, it'll still feel different. And I'm just not going to let you do it.
Smacked. Shortstop's got it. Could be 2. There's 6 over 3. And an inning-ending double play turned by Carmel. And turning 2 is the thing in tonight's game. Fantastic defensive inning for Sophie Esposito, who is heading to play at Indiana State next year. We'll let her take us to break. Through 5, it's 4-0 New Pal. Here on 9 Star and the ISC Sports Network.
When moving into a new home, we ask ourselves questions like, who is the best internet provider in town? Well, have you considered locally owned 9-Star Connect? We've become the fastest, most reliable, and dedicated fiber-to-the-home internet company in central Indiana. Our internet packages have been modified, and we are changing speeds at a more competitive price. So give us a look. Visit us at 9starconnect.com. 9-Star is a different kind of company, and the difference is you.
So Studi on for her 6th inning of work. And zeros on the board the last 2 innings for New Pal. It's still a seemingly comfortable 4-0 lead. However, here comes the top of the lineup through for the Carmel Greyhounds. McDonald, Erickson, and Esposito. 2 hits of that group so far, and McDonald, who is batting .647 coming in, does not have one of those hits yet.
So if it's going to happen, it's got to happen here. You don't have to get all 4 of them back, but you got to get, a crooked number up there.
Ball tails away. McDonald 2 home runs and 7 runs batted in this year. Ground ball to shortstop and struck out on 3 pitches her last time up. Popped it up. Left fielder has it lined up, and McDonald is retired. So Erickson due up now.
right fielder, number 6, Grayson Harrison.
Erickson singled her last time up. That was a ball kind of to right center. The center fielder in England did a great job of cutting that one off and preventing further advance. And Erickson would be involved in the strike him out, throw him out double play to end the third. Off speed, misses. 1-0.
You know, Greg, again, Coach Britton apparently may have inquired about standing behind second base. They told her no. So she now has decided to stay in the dugout. Don't know all of her varsity assistants, but Kristen Krieg, Carly Sauer.
Off the hands, first baseman, Hershey. Didn't hang on to the ball. Now she's got to hit the bag, which she never did. Let's make sure Hershey is all right. That'll be a base hit.
Difficult one there, but what
Yep.
the best thing you can do is put the ball in your bare hand, put your bare hand in your glove, and then just kind of see if you can get the tag here. You can see she realizes late that the only place she has is the tag, but again, the ball was just never really controlled.
And they're going to bring Hershey out of the game. Sydney Hubanks will go into play first base now for New Pal. Do that to make sure that Hershey is all right. It's one of those where Hershey hesitated for just a second.
But then made the decision, and
Yep.
then it just didn't have really control of the ball. The other two assistants, and that's one of the two. That's either Carly Sauer or Alexis Bevere. So
I think they're also going to take the ball out of play because of that shot off the end of the bat. They have kind of nicked
Yep.
up the ball a little bit. So
going to put a little lump on it or
Yep.
torn the cover.
Your kid to play first base defense for the Dragons, number 1, Sydney Eubanks.
So Hubanks is in, replacing Hershey. Hubanks' spot in the lineup will be up third this inning. So here's Sophie Esposito. Struck out her last time. Singled and a stolen base back in the first. Carmel has had a runner on in each inning. They have been involved in inning-ending double plays in each of the last 3 innings. If New Pal can keep that trend going. That misses low.
Shortstop, number 22, Sophie Esposito.
Sydney Eubanks is what you would expect a first baseman to be. Tall, long arms, got a lot of range. Going to be hard to overthrow.
Sydney's going to play at Mount St. Joe next year as well. Off the end of the bat, they will throw the ball to first. Eubanks, ball finds her, so to speak, on the first play after she enters the game. Runner does advance on to second. New Pal with a 4-run lead takes the sure out. And there's 2 down.
Yeah, Courtney Studi here just again the old win in doubt, get an out. You got a 4-run lead. What you need here are outs. You got to keep them out of a big inning. If you try to go 2, you don't get it. You throw it in center field. It's even worse, second and third. So when in doubt, get an out.
Sullivan sprays that one foul. She walked her last time up. Had a ground ball to third base the time before that. Outfield straight away here for the cleanup hitter for Carmel. Just off the inside corner. Ball and a strike.
Another really nasty pitch, so a lot of late movement, and the ball just kind of dove down toward the back foot of the hitter.
Swing and a miss. Again, that fastball just has enough late movement to be sometimes a tough pitch to hit.
Just doing a good job, though, of changing the hitter's eye level, though. There's pitches down, there's pitches in, there's out.
Change up, popped up. That'll reach the seats. We'll do it again at 1 and 2.
So in fairness to Lily Sullivan, I mean, honestly, right now she probably doesn't know what's coming or where it's coming from. It's difficult to hit when, again, you don't know if you're going to get that fastball. By the time you recognize, straight pitch fastball, too late in the catcher's glove.
She's seeing a lot of pitches this go-round. We may need to replenish some softballs here with 2 or 3 out of play currently.
couple of them there from the right side of the Carmel side have been chased down, and one of them has been re-entered, and then one from the Dragon dugout, so we're ready to go.
Swing and a miss on the riser that Sullivan could not catch up with. She is a strikeout victim for the first time today. And in terms of total strikeouts in this one, make that 4 by Studi. So we are now through 5.5. It is insurance run time for New Pal. They'll send Ernstus, Engel, and Sydney Eubanks to the plate in the bottom half of the 6th, looking to extend a 4-0 lead. New Pal, when we start the top of the 7th, they'll be looking for their second shutout of the season. They blanked Plainfield for one of their first 4 wins of the season. And Carmel has scored at least 3 runs in every game they have played. A couple of the storylines when we get to the top of the 7th frame. Ernstus, we have talked about her defensive handiwork, and she's 2 for 2 with a single and double. We have not shared with you that she is a junior, and she too is slated to play in the SEC in a couple of years. She is headed to Mississippi State. I forget which year it was, but I believe in the last couple of years that there was a year where all 14 SEC teams made the NCAA postseason.
Wow.
Staggering amount of talent in that league. And, of course, Oklahoma's going to join them here in a couple of years.
Oh, of course, yeah. Nothing does Southeast Conference like Oklahoma. So probably going to be a bunch of changes here as both coaches approach the home plate umpire, and now he's going to go over and let Coach Markham know of the changes that the Carmel Greyhounds put in. So this is when a broadcaster has to kind of pay attention.
Well, why start now, Jim?
Yeah, well, I know.
So Ernstus will lead things off. Any defensive changes that we notate, we will certainly pass those along to you.
Leading off for the Dragons, the third baseman, number 11, Paige Ernstus.
So Ernstus came in batting 300. She has improved that today. And both these teams are off until Monday. Get to enjoy the weekend after this one. All the offense for New Pal comes in the first 3 innings to this point. And every run has been scored off of a home run today.
And all done by the top of the lineup.
Turns on this one. Will it reach the fence? Well, it does, but on a hop and goes up and over our camera position. So a ground rule double for Paige Ernstus, and she has a 3-hit afternoon with a pair of extra base hits. So we do have a pinch hitter coming in here in Engel's spot for New Pal. So Ella Holman will get a plate appearance for New Pal, but first let's take a look at this one, which missed being the 4th home run of the day by just a couple of feet.
Getting a really good bounce off the turf, and over the fence we go.
Stunning there was a turf hop involved.
Yeah.
This isn't the old school AstroTurf days, but you get the idea. Holman watches that one go by for a strike. By my stats, this is Holman's. No, she got on a different number on the stat sheet. This is her 5th plate appearance, 4 at-bats. She's officially 0 for 4 this year as Ella. And she finds herself in an 0-2 predicament. Brodden comes back and ties her up. That's a strikeout. So 1 away. For Brodden, that is her 3rd strikeout of the game. So here's Eubanks. And Eubanks came in as an injury replacement in the top of the inning. Hershey. Eubanks is 0 for 2 this year. This is the 4th game the senior has played in. And that misses low.
Listed as a utility player, so can probably play a variety of infield and outfield positions. Coach Markham is once again going to get another player involved here.
I wonder if this is just a chance to get somebody to run in for Ernstis and then bring her back in the top of the 7th.
Yeah.
Just a chance to. So Addison Hurst will come in to pinch run for Ernstis here. Good chance to give everybody a chance to play here at home on this Friday night.
Well, and again, Greg, that's how you build a program is, you don't just necessarily rely on your seniors to eat up all the innings. You got to get young kids involved, to get her involved running the bases and kind of build from that. Eventually you might work her into a ball game defensively or even a couple cuts at the plate.
Reese Rosenbaum, by the way, awaits on deck. We'll have another new hitter for New Pal if it gets to her. Outside corner for a strike. 1-1. Turns on this one foul. And even at the bottom of the lineup, and even with pinch hitters due up, the Carmel center fielder and the left fielder are playing closer to the parking lot than they are home plate. Both of them a couple of steps in front of the painted turf for the warning track, and both playing to pull.
Eubanks, again, is just that imposing figure. She's a big kid. It looks like if she turns on something, she can drive it.
She didn't offer. When there was no first base umpire because he was out behind the shortstop. Count it 2-2. Ground ball. Third baseman's got it. They're going to try to worry about the lead runner, and that's a mistake.
Yep.
So a fielder's choice hit into by Eubanks. The runner in Hurst advances to third, and that's kind of, we've seen one error in this game. That's kind of the first mental miscue we've seen by either team in this game.
Yeah, there's always that kind of belief they never throw behind a runner, and that's why. 60-foot base paths, it doesn't take much. The second you release the ball, I'm gone. And she already was off the bag a considerable amount, so you really had two choices there. You could either throw across and get one, when in doubt, get an out. That's that old thing I used to say all the time. Or you can run her back to the bag, and once she commits back to second base, try to throw the ball and get a quick catch and tag.
So this was Bain's spot in the lineup. Rosenbaum will come back for her. Rosenbaum now has played in all 7 games this year. She is 3 for 9 at the plate, has 3 runs scored, 3 runs batted in, and does have a home run.
Now it's Coach Markham's turn to have a little first and third fun here, but I imagine that he put this young lady into hitting, and he's probably going to let her swing the bat.
Now Rosenbaum, a junior, watches that one go by. Turns on this one. Fair ball inside the line. Ball kicked off the fence. 2 runs will score. Rosenbaum will stop at second with a double. And it's 6-0 New Pal.
Well, she did exactly what Coach Markham put her in to do, and that is hit the ball. And this one just gets inside the line. There wasn't much there. Gets past the left fielder, and after that, it's over. Now, Eubanks does a really nice job of running the bases. She had the whole play in front of her, saw nobody was going to get it. Once it got away from the left fielder, she absolutely turned on the jets and was able to get all the way around from first.
Of the 9 hits today by New Pal, 6 have been for extra bases. 3 doubles and 3 home runs. This was Oliver's spot in the lineup, and they're going to get another batter up for her. Just trying to get everybody a look today if possible.
And get a look at a pretty decent varsity pitcher. So, I mean, this is pretty good varsity softball, so you got to learn the speed at which the game occurs.
Nyla Lewis Jr. will step to the plate. And this is Oliver's spot in the lineup. Oliver had been 0 for 2. Fastball misses inside. Saw a quick look at Lewis's batting average on the season. Translates to 1 for 7. She has played now in 6 of the 7 games for the Dragons so far. Fastball just misses. So missing both inside and outside corners on back-to-back pitches is brought. Lewis has 3 runs scored on the season.
And she is ready to swing the bat. 2-0, runner in scoring position, RBI opportunity.
He's taking on that one. 2-1. Top of the lineup rolls back through, and Jersey Gross. Good job. Oh, out the outside corner. Nothing Lewis could do with that one anyway.
Right.
2-2.
Yeah, you'll hear coaches all the time say, you know what, you didn't want that one. Well, believe me, you didn't want that one.
Sends this one down the right field line, tailing, and that ball is foul. Good inside-out swing that time by Lewis. This marks the 3rd trip to the lineup for New Pal. Now they have had new hitters come up in each of the last 4 positions. Full count. Different players now have been used by, make it 15 actually, by Coach Markham in today's game, including the courtesy runner and Addison Hurst. Ground ball, fair ball. Throw to first, tag applied, and 2 umpires are going to talk about it. Was the tag applied at first base? They're going to talk about it. Again, because both umpires were on this side of the home plate bag, the question is, did the tag, sweep tag by McDonald happen by the time she got to the bag, and the answer is going to be no.
Yeah, I think the actual answer is yes, but unfortunately, like you said, both umpires were kind of looking at the same thing. I think that the tag comes in time, but neither umpire. I think she got it right there on the elbow, but unfortunately, and you know, Coach Britton, I don't blame her. She's going to go out and just get an explanation. The explanation is this. I'm on the second base side of the bag. I'm watching the runner at second base. They could have easily thrown to second. I would have had a play there. I didn't see the tag. In my opinion, the home plate umpire probably should have taken over the play at first based on the positioning. But it's over. You can't call somebody out on something you didn't see. So the assumption is, you know what, you look over and you go, well, she's standing on the bag now, and that's what I see, and I didn't see the tag. I will tell you this, and I used to announce this the year I was an athletic director. I used to tell, you know, my sportsmanship, as I think, again, she clearly gets her on the arm. My speech was a little bit different than the IHSAA's authorized one. It basically started with, look, nobody's trying to cheat your kid. These umpires are trained. They're experienced. Do they miss calls? Certainly. Does your kid miss free throws? All the time. I've seen him. So get off their back.
So Gross singled and scored back in the 3rd. You're a hitter or 2 away from thinking about run rule territory here if you're New Pal. Gross struck out her last time up. Watches that one go by and misses. So the count at 1-0.
A little bit of confusion there by Carmel defensively as you ended up with 2 people covering third base. Probably not what you want.
Puts the bunt down. Again, that's trying to bunt for a base hit. That's not moving runners over. You'll certainly take that if it happens that way. Knowing you've got Blum and Rudd due up next. And if Rudd gets the plate, I'm not sure you're going to have the luxury of walking her the way you did last time. But Carmel offered the bases empty, intentional bases on balls. Trying to put the bunt down as Gross, and again, now takes the bunt away. You can still try to slap that ball left side, which she has proven adept at doing.
And she's so fast. Again, if she could slap it down and it gets it really any height at all, she's just going to outrun it.
That one down towards the New Pal bullpen. do it again at 1 and 2. Center and left also playing shallow for the slapper, so if she gets one that she can drive, they're running for a while. Caught. No advance by the runners at first and second. 2 down.
Third baseman was perfectly placed here. As you see, she's about 5 or 6 feet in front of the bag, and Dragon runners do a nice job of freezing on the line drive. If it gets through, you got time to get to the next base. You probably won't score if you're at second base, but if it gets through, you got time to get to third. So freeze.
Blum hit the rope to the shortstop last time up in Esposito, and homered the time before that. A little high. 1-0 the count.
Blum's just trying to work this count to something that she can hit.
Misses inside. 2-0. Ground ball to second her first time up, so she's 1 for 3 today. This one gets through for a base hit. They will wave the runner around from third. They will hold the runner at second. It is now 7-0. And a player that is capable of ending this with one swing will come to the plate in Rudd. So Blum gets her second RBI of the game. And again, in theory, you could walk her to load the bases. Fleming with kind of the look towards the dugout. They will at least make the attempt to pitch to Rudd. It looks this time through. Got the very top of the zone. 0-1 the count. Off the plate. 1-1. And the second ball that Rudd hit out of the park, I think was a ball that was frankly out of the zone. First one was one she was sitting on dead middle.
Well, and when you, it was up a little bit, but when you were able to kind of catch up to it.
They throw behind the runner, and able to dive back into first is Blum, and heads up by Lewis at second. Lewis, when the throw went to first, she took the bag at third. 2-1. Rudd has picked up 9 total bases in 3 plate appearances today. That one hopped to home plating, and they throw behind at third, and with that, now Blum will take the bag at second. Which in theory opens up the bag to kind of place Rudd at first if you want to go that route if you're Carmel. Rudd swings away. And the count of 3-2. Rudd has been known to make contact in these situations. Ground ball. Shortstop's got it. Fires over to first, and the inning is over. So we won't see the top of the 7th, but New Pal adds their lead. It is a 7-run cushion going to the final stanza. We're back after this on 9-Star and the ISC Sports Network.
Who knew that 9-Star Connect, a local smart utility, has the fastest internet in Indiana? 9-Star offers speeds up to 2 gig. That's upload and download speeds. Try getting that from any other provider. No data limits or caps on speed. The speed you pay for is the speed you get. 9-Star has state-of-the-art fiber optics with a dedicated line to each house. 9-Star Connect, Indiana's fastest internet. Who knew?
Back here on 9-Star and ISC. Greg Rakestraw, Jim Leisure. Thank you so much to John Painter and our tremendous 9-Star crew. You'll see their names scroll through at the end of the broadcast. Still 3 more outs to go in a 7-0 lead. New Pal taking their time with Rudd having to get the gear back on to start the inning.
Max Holtzclaw is relatively new to the 9-Star team this year, taking over at Greenfield Central and doing the radio and television teaching there. And again, the camera crew that we see are all students in Mr. Holtzclaw's class. So getting some great experience and put a little money. I asked him during the Horseshoe Classic. They get a little something, a little money for doing this. So, but probably more importantly, I would think, is the valuable experience. They do a fantastic job of bringing this to us and to you. And I don't know how many of them really want to end up doing that type of stuff, working behind the camera, but if they do, again, great experience.
So Alex Longstreth, 0 for 2. Some defensive changes for New Pal. We'll pass them along as necessary. Only defensive change in the infield happened last inning when Hershey exited because of the collision on the first base line. That was with Erickson. Longstreth reaches out and sprays this one foul.
Now, if I'm Coach Markham, I want to see Courtney Studi here just finish this, right? I want to see her just really bear down.
Coach Markham coming to the home plate just to make sure that all of the positional changes had been entered into the book properly here. That's the reason for the delay.
Yeah, and technically, I mean, it really doesn't matter where they play. You can play them. You can play all 9 of them in a line if you want to. What matters is the batting order.
So the count at 1-1. Outfielding shading a little towards left for the number 5 hitter. Foul tip. Longstreth did the best she could to keep the at-bat alive, did the junior. Liner gets past the shortstop for a base hit. So first hit in 3 plate appearances for Longstreth. Hit number 5 of the day.
Pretty good little piece of hitting here. Just takes the pitch. Again, doesn't try to pull it. When you pull an outside pitch, you ground out. A lot of base hits the other way.
They have all been singles today for Carmel. Here's Fleming. Going to do an inning-ending double play in the 4th last time up. 4-6-3 variety. Had a ground ball to shortstop before that. Fleming just a sophomore. Checks the wristband for the signal. Simultaneously, the runner at first, and Longstreth does the exact same thing. A little low and inside, 2-0 the count. Tied away, 3-0 the count. Studi going for her 3rd complete game of the season. And this is her 4th start. It's her 5th total appearance. She has now thrown 28 innings for the first couple of weeks of the season. Taken all the way at 3-0. That's bell tie for a strike.
Well, we've seen Studi battle back before on a 3-0 count and get an out, so we'll see if she can work that here.
This one off the end of the bat and out of play. Studi began the day with an ERA of a little under 2.9. It's sitting at 2.25 after 6 scoreless innings so far in this game. Third baseman hugging the line for New Pal. Ground ball her direction. 7-run game, don't even look at second. Just take the out at first base. And there's one down. So here's Ella Weir.
As you said there, Greg, ball hit to her left, and she had to come in a little bit to get it, so really no question where you're going with it.
You've already turned 3 double plays today for New Pal. That's about 2.5 more than normal.
Than you can expect, yeah.
Just throw the ball to first.
Yeah, and again, right now, honestly, you trade runs for outs, but
Weir knocks it down. Pitcher's got it. Fires to first. Out in time. Runner advances, but Carmel down to a final out.
now, of course, if you're Courtney Studi, you're saying, no, I'm not trading runs for outs. I like the shutout here.
The designated player, number 8, Bella Davis.
She is listed as not having had a shutout this year, has Studi. Even though New Pal as a team has a shutout in their victory against Plainfield.
And again, if you're Coach Markham, you'd look nothing more than just to see her rear back and find something else. Looks like she kind of unleashed that one. Good movement away, but it broke off the plate. You got to have a killer instinct. You got to put people away.
Davis walked last time up and hit a ground ball to shortstop before that. Fouls that one straight back. And our cameras are back here on Thursday for the conference and county rivalry between New Pal and Mount Vernon. Hope you can join us then. Coverage starts at 5:30. On Wednesday, we will have Pendleton Heights playing host to the East Carmel Greyhounds. We'll see both these teams again next week. Davis asks for time.
Absolutely no truth to the rumor that John Painter is actually going to just sleep in the New Pal dugout and not go home. He'll probably go home. He's got that nice little motorized skateboard.
Change up. Low. 2-1.
Didn't miss by much. Good pitch.
For the most part, the Carmel Hares have done a good job of laying off.
They really have. I mean, and you got to credit Davis there, too.
So it brings the fastball back, Beltai, and hounds down to a final strike of this one.
If I'm Davis again, I just want to, I would just choke just a little bit, give me a little more back control. Looks like she did, about an inch.
Rudd tried to frame that as best she could and pull that down, but that was up and out of the zone, full count. And you would think at 3-2 and 7-0, pretty good pitch to hit here coming for Davis.
My best against yours.
Brings the fastball, little liner, gets down into right center field for a base hit. So Carmel is on the board. Davis heads into second. It is now 7-1. So the shutout is spoiled by Davis, the sophomore. Give her the RBI, her first of the year. And is also the first extra base hit of this game for Carmel. But still, it's a 6-run lead for New Pal. And Jaden Kleiner, who had a single earlier tonight, a stolen base. She had a liner back to the shortstop her previous plate appearance. This marks the end of the third trip through the lineup here for Carmel. Into the netting. As always, thanks to Al Cooper and his staff, Trent Whitaker, and everybody else involved in New Pal that always makes us feel so welcome when our 9-star cameras make it out here. Outfield now shading the 9-hitter slightly towards right. Popped up. Second baseman backing up. Makes the play. Muma's got it, and this one is over. So 7-1 is our final score. And Jim, your final thoughts on this one?
Well, Courtney Studi did a fantastic job on the mound. Gave up that one run in the 7th inning, but again, Rudd, Bloom, or 3 home runs. Ernst just 3 for 3. So just a pretty complete game by New Pal, and we'll see what happens next week when we're back here.
New Pal runs their record to 5-2 on the season. Carmel falls to 1-5. Courtney Studi gets the win. She is 3-0 on the campaign. For Jim Leeser and our entire 9-Star crew, this is Greg Rakestraw. Good night and have a wonderful weekend. Thanks for joining us for high school softball on 9-Star and the ISC Sports Network.